Oh no!
Oh, boy.
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes!
So I leave for Trike Fest in less than 24 hours. I had the idea that I should put together a video of all the old pictures and video I've recorded from previous Trike Fest. So here we go. This is 2018, the year I went with my buddy Brett, who's there on the right. That's his TPC that he's telling Mark Rich and Greg Jr. about. Greg Jr. had just recently built the creamsicle here, this massively lifted big red with portals.
I met this silly bastard
Greg's
on
cooking some
Facebook
breakfast.
too.
It was very rainy this year. We set up camp and it rained a lot, and we were in a pretty bad spot. There's Mitch on his 87 125M, one of them. But we were on an incline, and all this water just came and flowed through our camp. Vinny Staffa's fake Christmas special there. A lot of time was spent under canopies discussing events and should we move the camp, should we not. There's my buddy Peyton 70 that he built, a custom build there. We ultimately decided this was not an ideal spot to stay for the rest of the time. This was a ride we went on. That's Mitch's 350X he had at the time. Sold that to Peyton. But that thing went through its paces that week. Mark Rich had just built this conversion. Beautiful build. My buddy Vinny Staffa on his big green. I think that machine has since gone down the line, but had a good time with it there. There's Greg Jr. on the creamsicle. That thing had portals on the back to get the height that it has. Kim Dwyer and her brother Scott. Looking forward to seeing them. You've seen her collection. This was one of the first group rides that we went on. Typically, it's either a wet, sloppy mess at Haspin Acres down in Laurel, Indiana, or it is overly dry and dusty. There's Greg in the bounty hole. He didn't make it too far. It hadn't been touched, so it was very sticky, very thick mud. Vinny had to pull him out. Vinny's on the quad there. I'm not sure where that came from, but he's a big quad guy.
Okay, we're attempting to relocate camp. Brett Walker's pushing a 350X. Bill Breslin at the helm of the Silverado. Ryan Mallon is coaching Bill in the last moments before his departure. I think the plan is they're going to head through that pass, trying to gain some momentum, as opposed to going up this sloppy hill. But here we go. All right, I'm hearing the commotion. Rich Mapucci, Vincent Staff Scott, spectating. Oh, some revs of the motor. Oh jeez, oh jeez. Take the trailer brakes off. What's going on? Sounded like trailer brakes. Something broke free. Here we go. It is a Chevy, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Oh my gosh. America. America, we are sliding. We are sliding. We are punching it. We are punching it. Okay, now straighten it out. It's looking good. Give her the corn. It is. Oh, I think it's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to happen. There he goes. Bill Breslin, everybody. There he is. America. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Rich Mapucci in the candy van. About to push this trailer up a hill in mud. Oh.
You're on a hill on that side. You can't cut it. You gotta back up straight. Yeah, but the trailer. He's gonna have to follow it because he's on a hill like I was.
All right, Greg Jr. is coaching. All right, van is about to be white and brown.
Right, check that hill. It's like this. You're going up it though, not down it. You ain't gonna make that turn on that tree.
There was discussion about how this was going to happen beforehand that I was not a part of. I'm not familiar with the plan. Oh, Vinny's got another buyer on the big green. That's great. Vinny, how do you feel about selling your big green?
No good.
All right, it's about to get serious.
I thought you put that on as a joke. It's not ready for sale.
Here we go.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
We might be committed now.
You're not sliding. Start bringing the trailer this way, you're good. Not so much, real easy.
Skill, look at the skill. Wise Rich Mapuche. He's guiding this. It's out of his hands at this point. Gravity is playing a big part. And I think we'll play a big part in jackknifing and okay. Alright, okay. I'm still believing, There it is. Yes! First gas!
Yes!
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Yes!
Yes!
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's done in America at Trike Fest in the mud. Over now.
So this was the level of slop that we were dealing with on a daily basis.
So we moved camp. This was getting ridiculous here. I gotta move some machines that didn't go on the trailer.
Brett and I arrived at about 1 in the morning when we got there, and it was dry at the time, and it proceeded to rain overnight, so mud got tracked into the trailer. Our plans to sleep in the trailer were kind of thwarted at that point because it was just nasty, and we made do, but eventually we got our machines all moved over. Oh, this four-wheeler, I was right behind this four-wheeler, and the rear tire ejected itself. It really wanted to turn into a three-wheeler, so we had to some redneck engineering trail side there to get it worthy of getting back to camp. But don't bring your four-wheeler to Trike Fest because they get ideas and they want to get on three wheels. But that was me and Brad Rye. This was our crew for this particular ride on this day. We had a great time. This is all the Georgia crew. So that's Kirsten. She's from Michigan, I believe. Greg Jr., as always. He's a lot taller in person than you think when you talk to him. There's Mitch. You know, at this point, you're multiple days into Trike Fest. You're just wearing it and just doing full jumps into the river to clean off everything, fully clothed. Well, some people are, but there's Brad Rye and Greg Jr. and myself. Davis Young, representing the Yoo-Hoo brand there. These guys. Lots of guys. I've forgotten names, so it's always good to go back year after year to remind yourself of all your trike friends that sometimes you get fuzzy on. These are fire pits that Brad Rye had made up. Awesome fire pits. There's my buddy Vinny. He had a wild night with Team Death Rev and Mitch Rapucci's Tiger that he brought. He's had a number of those at this point. You see some weird things at Trike Fest, and you're just obligated to report them. So, all right, disclaimer, there's going to be about 8 minutes of me wearing my GoPro, riding this 250R around the main camping areas at Haspin. So this may get boring, but it gives you a little bit of taste of what you'll see, and I'll just kind of point out some things. So I'm in the big kind of parking lot area. That's where we relocated our camp. And to my right is the drag strip, and that can be active for a good chunk of the day. This whole area gets very dusty, so this is where you're going to set up camp. Just know that you are in a dust-heavy environment. Up straight ahead right there, that white building is the main building, so the showers and the bathrooms, and I believe they have some food served out of there at some point. I never got any food from them, so you gotta go slow, you gotta wear a helmet if you're riding your machines around. You gotta be respectful of the property and the owners and the other guests, because at Trike Fest you don't have exclusive rights to the area. You know, you'll see other side-by-sides and machines, and I've seen like a lawnmower group of people, come there and other groups share the area. So, but most of the people there during the week that Trike Fest is happening are 3-wheeler people. So we had originally set up camp off to the right. See that white truck there? We were down in there. I'm going to drive through what was our camp because the Georgia contingent is camping down in there, and I just wanted to check out their area. This is Chris Philby right there. Rest in peace, Chris. He passed away a little over a year ago, so I talked to him briefly on our way back out of this area. But this is right where our camp was, and now it's become a thoroughfare because it was about the only dry area. Everything to the right was really soggy. I think it was, these trails are a little bit wider. What I'm riding on is a little wider than it looks. Super duper close to hit anything that looks like it. Brad Rye's tent is right there. That's where the final fabrication of Greg Jr.'s creamsicle super duper lifted Big Red was done. Put the portals on, and they pretty much got it all done right there on site. I'm just kind of poking around, not really seeing anybody, so I think at this point I'm figuring I'm gonna get out of here.
Testing out my new GoPro. Maiden voyage.
Oh, yeah. Trike Fest!
So this area is pretty much where the bulk of the people set up their camps. It can get really wet out here. When it's dry, it can get really dusty out here. So there's those cons, if you will. But then they have rules that you can't leave the quote-unquote campground area after dark, 9 or 10, I guess. And so if you're out here, you can ride after hours, but I'm not really looking to ride after hours as much as I am looking for a patch of grass that I can set camp on that's not going to get everything thoroughly dusted. Just kind of investigating things. This is my first time out kind of on my own, so I really don't know where I'm going. I don't think I've been down this trail before, so just kind of checking it out.
Don't. You want me to ask when we get back? For an X?
Well, it's kind of bigger than X. What happened is I forgot my kickdown.
Okay.
I got a 450 carb on that. But I ordered a Cayman filter, but it's too big.
I'll ask for you.
I'm getting a steel stock setup on them, but I gotta still ring it.
Yep. Good luck. Yeah.
So I'm making my way back towards where I came from, trying to avoid the mud puddles. As you can see, keep my flip-flops clean. But off to the right, coming up on the other side of this excavator, in that barn area, there's a hill that drops down. There's a little racetrack down in there, and they do barrel races, dirt tracks. Go down and use. There's a pond, there's more trails off to the side. This is the main entrance, so see that Jeep right there? He's coming up the hill, and everybody's kind of waiting in line to check in, sign in, pay your admission fee to get in. But bikes are still coming in, and this is, we've been here for days at this point. And the first year, I think we got there Wednesday night, so people are still showing up. This is probably late Friday or maybe even Saturday. No, probably Friday. This is the campground area. Come down this hill. There's more grass in here. There's less traffic. So you got a better chance to have a quiet experience and a less dusty experience. That pavilion on the right in the going behind is where I'll be staying this year. Near where we stayed last year. There's this little pond here. It's a nice, quieter area. For me, that's why I'm just doing a tour, kind of checking things out. Coming up here, you can see Tony Allison's spot. It's him on the left. Yep, this is the Jets. James Smith on the right there. So we get a super nice spread. I'm going to interview him this year. So the story, because there's all these buildings in Haspin. You always wonder why. It's not like they're falling apart. They were never finished. And the story I got was that they were going to make this place into like a gambling place and like a place to have music venues and things like that. There's like a partially built walkway out into that pond that we just went by, and the idea was that they could have performers out in the middle of the pond, but also have buildings where there was casino-style gambling, but it never came to fruition, and the money or the investors backed out before it was finished, and that's why there's partially built buildings here. At least that's what I was told. That's what I think I was told. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm skirting the line. To my left is the fence that is the border of the campground area, so if you're on the left side of that fence, you can ride after dark after hours. If you're inside the fence, done for the evening. there. I go back down through. I was going to point out the kind of the grandstand where they give out the trophies and everything on Saturday from all the events. So, a bunch of muddy trikes moving around. Can't remember where it was campus. That was probably Tony Elson on the next machine. Just looked away from it. I'll shut up for a while so you can just check things out. So I went past our camp there. This is going the other direction. To my left is the end of the drag strip. There's another pavilion to the right. Past that white van that I'm kind of looking away from on my right is a motocross track. So that is a neat little spot. I've only rode it a couple times, so that's something I want to hit more while I'm there. You see here's some dirt bikes. Like I said, they don't have exclusive. It's not Trike's only. It's a non-three-wheeler to this event. You won't get shot. We'll certainly talk about it. I will. Other people. To my right is the drag strip, as I mentioned. My way back to the camp. Let's see what's next. So I'd brought this 86 200X and sold it to a guy, Chad Merkelkamp. That was all arranged, and he took delivery of it at Trike Fest. The drag strip was starting to liven up, so I made my way down there to check out some of these pretty nasty machines, you know, stuff you're not going to see pretty much anywhere else. But I'm not into this, but it's neat to see what some of these guys come up with. But just listen to the sound of some of these. time to line up for the parade in Haspin Acres. Florida, Indiana, this day as well. Ready to line up. This is quite the spectacle to behold, and in prior years it hadn't been exclusively three-wheelers, but this year they're making sure it's only three-wheelers so we can have the longest three-wheeler parade. This is us heading down the hill from Haspin. All the locals come out. So this is waving to the town people. They probably think we're crazy. And they're not wrong. and Amelia Rye and Connor Jepson holding up my backside there for some of the parade. This is, we're starting to load things up and just, you know, what your machine will look like after not even trying to get muddy at Trike Fest. This is what you can expect your machine to look like. This is what you can expect your face to look like after a long night, places you shouldn't have been. But me, Mitch, and Vinny getting a group picture before we parted ways. Those guys took off that night. Oh my gosh, I did this to my toe on a CR80. The old forward kick and flip-flops got me, and I paid the price. But this is a 7370 I picked up while I was there from my buddy Joe Thompson. That's a CR85, I guess, is what I kicked over and got my toenail on. But this is at Chad Bennett's. I picked up another 7370 and a Big Red, an 84 Big Red on my way home. And that completed our trip. We made our way back up the New York State Thruway and eventually got home. And it was pretty late, but it was a worthwhile trip. And you should definitely come if you've never been. And that's Trike Fest 2018.